I've always had a fascination with capturing the world through my camera lens. The city, with its chaotic energy and hidden corners, never ceased to amaze me. One day, while exploring a bustling marketplace, I noticed a boy who seemed different from everyone else. He moved through the crowd like a shadow, effortlessly blending and yet standing out to me. He intrigued me, and without really thinking it through, I decided to follow him. As I trailed behind him, I felt like a detective piecing together a puzzle. I watched him pause at a bookstore window, observe street performers, and linger by a wall covered in graffiti. He had a way of disappearing and reappearing that made me think he knew the city like the back of his hand. I snapped photos of him from a distance, capturing his quiet moments in a city always in motion. Over the next few days, I found myself increasingly captivated by this mysterious boy. He visited places that seemed forgotten by time, abandoned buildings, quiet parks, and old murals. There was a pattern to his movements, though I couldn't quite figure out what it was. Sometimes, I'd lose him in the crowd, only to stumble upon him again, as if some invisible thread was pulling us together. One evening, he led me to an old, abandoned theater. The building was a relic of a bygone era, its grandeur faded but still palpable. The entrance was adorned with posters from past shows, the colors long since muted. The interior was equally haunting, with broken seats and dust-covered floors. I hesitated at the threshold, feeling like I was on the brink of discovering something profound. As I stepped inside, I saw him standing on the stage, staring into the empty seats. It was the first time I saw a different side of him, a softness in his eyes, a wistful expression. I gathered my courage and called out to him. He turned, and for a moment, we just looked at each other. Then he smiled, a knowing, gentle smile, as if he'd been expecting me all along. He introduced himself as Liam and began to share his story. He told me about how this theater used to be his sanctuary, a place where he once danced and felt alive. But as the city modernized, the theater was abandoned, along with his dreams of performing. He had been revisiting places that held memories for him, trying to reconnect with a part of his past he couldn't let go of. I showed him the photos I'd taken of him during my pursuit. He looked at them quietly, a mix of emotions crossing his face. He seemed touched that someone had seen him in these moments and captured them so beautifully. It was then that an idea struck me: we could use these photos to tell his story and bring the city's forgotten places back into the light. Together, we decided to organize a photo exhibition titled Chasing Shadows, to be held in the abandoned theater. We spent weeks preparing, restoring parts of the theater, gathering funding, and promoting the event. It was challenging, but our shared passion kept us going. As we worked side by side, I felt our connection deepening. We weren't just collaborators, we were kindred spirits, both searching for something more. The exhibition day finally arrived, and the theater was filled with people, their eyes wide with wonder. They admired the photos and listened to Liam's story, resonating with the themes of rediscovery and the beauty of the past. Seeing the theater alive again, filled with laughter and appreciation, was a moment I'll never forget. Standing on that stage with Liam, looking out at the crowd, I realized how far we'd come. What began as a curious pursuit had turned into a journey of self-discovery and connection. We had found beauty in the shadows and brought it into the light. As the exhibition ended, I knew this was just the beginning of our journey. We continued to explore the city together, capturing its essence and creating new stories. Chasing Shadows wasn't just a project, it was a testament to the power of art and the human spirit. Through Liam's story and my lens, we reminded ourselves and others that there's always beauty to be found, even in the most unexpected places. And as I continued to chase shadows with my camera, I knew that every shadow had its own story waiting to be told.